The Power of Never Giving Up Part 1. The fall in the vibrant streets of New York City. Aiden Walker was the epitome of success. As a well-respected financial analyst, he seemed to have everything: an impressive career, a sleek apartment in Manhattan, and a loving fiancée, Sophia Bennett. A journalist with a passion for uncovering the truth. Sophia's strength and kindness balanced Aiden's ambitious, driven nature. Together, they were a couple others admired, seemingly unstoppable in their pursuit of happiness. But Aiden was restless. Deep down, he felt that his success wasn't enough. He wanted to prove to himself and the world that he was capable of achieving greatness beyond the confines of his corporate job. So, when an old colleague introduced him to a high-stakes investment opportunity, he saw it as his chance to reach the next level. "This is it, Sophia," Aiden said one evening over dinner. "This investment will set us up for life. Imagine not just financial freedom, but the ability to make a real impact in the world." Sophia, always the voice of reason, frowned. "Aiden, this sounds risky. Are you sure it's worth putting everything on the line?" "I've done the research," he assured her. "It's a calculated risk. Trust me." Against Sophia's cautious advice, Aiden poured his entire savings into the venture. He even took out loans, confident that his instincts would pay off. But the market had other plans. In a matter of weeks, his investment crumbled, leaving him with nothing but debt. The loss was devastating, but the blows didn't stop there. The company Aiden worked for announced massive layoffs due to the same economic downturn that had crushed his investment. Aiden, once a star performer, found himself jobless. The fallout was immediate. Bills began piling up, and creditors started calling. The once confident man who had stood tall in boardrooms now struggled to get out of bed. Sophia tried to be there for him, offering her unwavering support. "We'll get through this together," she said, holding his hand. But Aiden's pride wouldn't let him lean on her. "I'll fix this," he'd say, brushing off her concerns. He grew distant, bottling up his shame and frustration. Their relationship, once filled with laughter and warmth, became strained. One evening, after another tense conversation, Sophia finally broke. "I can't help you if you keep shutting me out," she said, tears streaming down her face. "I love you, Aiden. But I can't watch you destroy yourself like this. When you're ready to let me in, I'll be here." And with that, she left. Alone in their empty apartment, surrounded by eviction notices and reminders of his failures, Aiden felt the weight of his world collapse. Part 2. A glimmer of hope. For weeks, Aiden wandered the city aimlessly. He felt like a shadow of the person he used to be, consumed by regret and self-doubt. One evening, as the sun set over Central Park, he found himself sitting on a bench near the fountain. Lost in thought, that's when he noticed the old man. Sitting on a worn wooden stool, the man was painting a breathtaking landscape. His hands moved with grace, blending colors into scenes so vivid they seemed alive. Aiden couldn't help but approach him. "Your work is incredible," he said. "But doesn't it bother you that no one seems to notice?" The man smiled without looking up. "Not at all. I don't paint for others. I paint because it brings me joy. That's enough." Aiden frowned. "But how do you keep going when it feels like the world doesn't care?" The man set down his brush and looked at Aiden, his eyes filled with quiet wisdom. "Young man, life isn't about chasing recognition. It's about staying true to what matters to you, even when no one else sees its value. The real challenge is finding the courage to keep going when it feels like everything's against you." Aiden didn't know why, but those words stayed with him. For the first time in months, he felt a spark of something he hadn't felt in a long time: hope. Part 3. The climb. The next morning, Aiden made a decision. He couldn't change the past, but he could control what he did next. He started small, taking a part-time job at a cafe to make ends meet. It wasn't glamorous, but it gave him a sense of purpose. In his free time, Aiden immersed himself in self-improvement. He stumbled upon free online courses in digital marketing and became fascinated by the idea of helping businesses grow through storytelling and branding. With nothing to lose, he decided to teach himself everything he could. Progress was slow. There were days when Aiden wanted to give up, when self-doubt whispered that he was too far gone. But he remembered the old man's words, "Keep going." His first breakthrough came when the cafe owner mentioned wanting to attract more customers. Aiden offered to create a social media strategy for the business, designing an Instagram page and running a small campaign. The results were immediate. Foot traffic increased, and word spread about the cafe's new presence online. Encouraged, Aiden began freelancing, offering his skills to other small businesses in the neighborhood. Each project built his confidence, and soon he was able to start his own marketing agency, which he named Phoenix Rise, a tribute to his journey of rebirth. Part 4. Love finds its way. While working on a campaign for a nonprofit organization, Aiden crossed paths with Sophia again. She was volunteering, using her journalism skills to amplify the nonprofit's mission. Seeing her again brought a flood of emotions, regret, hope, and a deep longing to make things right. At first, their interactions were cautious, almost formal. But over time, Aiden began to share the lessons he had learned about resilience, humility, and the importance of letting people in. Sophia saw the change in him. He was no longer the man consumed by pride and ambition. Instead, he was someone who had faced failure, embraced growth, and emerged stronger. Slowly, they began to rebuild their relationship, this time on a foundation of trust and shared understanding. Part 5. The lesson. Years later, Aiden's agency became one of the most respected in the city, known for helping small businesses thrive. But Aiden never forgot where he came from. He often gave free workshops, sharing his story to inspire others who felt like giving up. One sunny afternoon, while walking through Central Park with Sophia and their young daughter, Aiden spotted the old painter again. The man was still there, his hands still moving gracefully across the canvas. Aiden approached him, holding his daughter's hand. "I wanted to thank you," he said. "Your words changed my life." The painter smiled. "No, son, you changed your life. I just reminded you of what you already had inside you. Remember, it's not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you rise. The moral of the story: life will knock you down, sometimes harder than you think you can bear. But within every setback lies an opportunity to grow. True success isn't about avoiding failure, it's about learning from it, rising stronger, and continuing forward. When the world feels heavy and the road ahead seems impossible, remember, the moments you feel like quitting are often the moments right before your greatest breakthrough.